Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the month of July 2022. This is a general reading with messages meant for those with Aquarius in their birth chart. However, cross watchers are welcome. And please take into consideration that roles of the individuals or energies identified in this reading may be swapped, and that the intensity of the energy or the situations may vary. So take whatever messages resonate for you and leave behind for others whatever does not. We're going to do a Celtic Cross reading and close off with Oracle card message. So you have here the present situation, 8 of Pentacles, what crosses or complements the Chariot. Above you, 7 of Wands. Below you, the Tower. In the past, Queen of Pentacles. In the near future, 4 of Cups. Your attitude of the situation, you have 9 of Swords. In your environment, the Justice card, hopes and fears, strength, and the outcome, you have 8 of Wands. So, with the 8 of Pentacles here, it indicates that you are working on something. This is usually a card of, career, job, but it's also kind of putting your attention and focus on something where you are where you need to be. So this is good for if you are wanting to, ask for a raise, or you have more responsibilities given to you. You're in a great position to do whatever needs to be done. If you are looking to, enter a relationship, then you are kind of, looking more attractive, feeling more attractive, really putting in effort to create something of value in the material world. With the Chariot that complements or crosses it, it kind of indicates that there is a pull of needing to do more, needing to advance further, and to really get to a point of some type of victory. In the past, with this Queen of Pentacles, it seems that you have been really practicing like self-care. I am kind of sensing this is your energy as opposed to someone else's. You have been practicing self-care, perhaps, getting into a routine for health and wellness where you are feeling really good about yourself, attractive, and paying attention to your body, and managing your finances, managing your time well, and being in a good spot. So what you have above you in the position, the conscious mind, with the 7 of Wands, this is a card of having an inner knowing and inner conviction, standing your ground about something. But you also have here in the section of the unconscious mind, which may be kind of lingering in the background and influencing you without you really knowing it, is this concept of the Tower, where there's some type of belief, something that you've built up that doesn't have a strong foundation, just being, pulled out from under you. So because you have 9 of Swords in your attitude of the situation, this kind of indicates that this Tower may just be a fear that you have, as opposed to something that you're going to experience. It could be that there's a past experience with the Tower, and so that's kind of motivated you to be in this past position of the Queen of Pentacles and focusing some care on yourself. But here in this, the Nine of Swords, this can be just fear and anxiety and in general, stress. I don't see any other cards relating to swords. See wands, there's pentacles, some major arcana cards. So here it's how you are thinking about the future is something that may kind of scare you. This concept of the Seven of Wands, standing your ground, it's almost as if you're in a good spot and there's a fear of being tested and having to actually kind of advance towards something. It looks like you've been working on something and you're either doing well on what you're working on or you're almost complete, but thinking about what to do next may create some fear and anxiety. With justice in the environment, these are, you know, external factors that influence you. And with this justice card, it may be a legal situation. If there is, you know, if you look at this as the Chariot being a physical move and the Tower being like, you know, the downfall of a residence and needing to, you know, to move when you really want to stay where you are. This could affect that, maybe like being evicted, something along those lines. But for the majority of you, this is a sense of like moral karma, sense of balance, and almost a sense of recognizing that there's a question over what justice is when it comes to your environment, whether it is actually some type of fairness involved, where there's a reasonableness, or if there is something else there, and you have to really prepare for all potential you know, things going sideways. With your hopes and fears being strength, there is a sense of, you know, being at a point of accomplishment with the Eight of Pentacles here and even the Eight of Wands in the outcome. Eights are kind of seen as advancement and progress. It also is where you can adjust things, fine-tune things if you need to in order to change the course or improve. And so with the strength being in your hopes and fears, there is the hope that you are, you know, strong enough that you can deal with changes that are coming your way. And also the fear that you have to prepare for every potential outcome change because of this underlying feeling that something is not strong, that this foundation is weak. So in the near future with the Four of Cups, this is a card of kind of an inner, what's the word I'm thinking of? Focusing internally on, you know, a situation and not really looking at the external environment. And the message here is to really be more aware, be aware of your surroundings, appreciate the small things, having a sense of gratitude, and in the outcome with the Eight of Wands, there does seem to be, advancing quickly and really being prepared for that. You can see these wands are all like working in unison, parallel, and so everything is aligned and forward focus. It's not kind of jumbled and conflicting like the five of wands would be. So we're going to go ahead and do some clarifications. Let's take a look at the Queen of Pentacles in the past. You have the Five of Cups. Okay. So it does seem that self-care is in relation to this sadness or loss, perhaps related to the Tower. So let's take a look at the Tower in the unconscious mind. You have the Eight of Cups. So here is a card of walking away from something or leaving a situation that isn't for your best and highest good. So it could be that this fear is something that you had to deal with. This Tower is something that you had to deal with in the past, but it's not really, it almost doesn't matter what that Tower moment was, because it's created this this fear, and it's almost as if you would expect that there would be more awareness, like hyper awareness of the environment. And I guess there is with this, Seven of Wands, the standing your ground. So actually, let's take a look at the Seven of Wands up here. Ace of Wands. So it does kind of indicate whatever this situation is, dealing with the Five of Cups, possibly the Tower, it is a sense of being ready, having a new idea, a new path to handle something, and like a determination. So let's take a look at the Eight of Pentacles here. You have the Sun. So definitely a sense of being more accomplished, working towards that, a place of being happy and not necessarily afraid. So let's see with the Chariot here. You have the Seven of Wands. So Chariot is also the seventh major arcana card. Sevens have to do with tests and examinations. So it could be a question of whether or not the universe in general is testing you in relation to your environment, being the Justice card, kind of questioning if everything comes out the way it should, or if the game is rigged, type of thing. So let's take a look at the Nine of Swords in the position of your attitude about the situation. You have the King of Wands. So here, this is a card of, courage, leadership, charisma. In this deck, though, the Pulp Tarot deck, the concept of the King of Wands is that basically this person wants to rule everything, and it wasn't what they, it wasn't what they were wanting, so they just burn everything in their path down and rebuild in the vision that they want. So that's not necessarily the same thing as like the loyal, courageous, visionary leader that is an entrepreneur type of thing. It's almost someone who has taken the concept of power and control a little bit too far. So it may be that your attitude of the situation is kind of feeling like not only tested by but tested by those in control, and possibly, getting to a place of accomplishment and having other people just burn down your walls, your foundations. So there is a real sense of needing to walk away from what's not true and true to you, but also a fear of there being a truth that is overrides whatever you're trying to accomplish. And so let's take a look at this Justice card in your environment. See how that is impacting you. Well, here's the Five of Wands I was talking about earlier, where there's a sense of conflict. And so since this is in your environment, it seems that this is external. This concept of, justice, balance, competing ideas, competing goals, and not really being on the same page. This external aspect is really influencing you. And so let's take a look at the Strength card in your hopes and fears. You have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, this is a sense of fulfillment, accomplishment, happiness, kind of like you can make your wishes come true. But again, it's almost as if there's a fear of, getting to this point of being strong, being courageous, being accomplished, and then the rules change on you, and then you end up in this situation of, where you just don't even know what to expect because you can't trust what's going on in your environment. So let's take a look at the Four of Cups here. You have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is more about, I don't know why, I was thinking like more mystical, more passionate about people, passionate not necessarily about accomplishing a certain outcome, but connecting from the heart and being the type of person that will like change the view of things. So isn't afraid to do something different from the group because that's the right thing to do, because that will bring everyone together. Because this is an individual that marches to the beat of their own drum. They're not really looking at the environment and wondering how they can operate within it. They are having the environment follow their lead. So here it's a sense of almost that you can teeter-totter between these things, these extremes almost. And with this Strength card, there's a need to really recognize those. Recognize that you can be the more courageous, confident, queenly type of individual that is about compassion and self-care and wellness and connections with others. And that you could also be someone who lives in fear, who is kind of bored or down in the dumps. And like recognizing those aspects of yourself is something that you kind of need to embrace and have a moment of, or many moments of, self-acceptance, knowing the parts of you that are more aggressive and passionate and assertive, and the parts of you that is more quiet and tender and, yearning. And just being aware of all those aspects of yourself. And in that sense, it's almost as if there's like a battle within yourself that you're kind of projecting on the outside world as well. So once you get some clarity there, then you can kind of focus on this positive forward aspect. So let's take a look at the Eight of Wands. You have the Five of Swords. And so the only other swords I see in this layout is the Nine of Swords. So the Five of Swords, this is a concept of being able to win, be victorious, to jump into action, to say whatever magic words need to be said, but that the outcome is, it begs the question of whether it's even worth having won. It's like a false sense of victory, a lose-lose situation. So here it's almost like contrasts of, here you have justice and balance with conflict. And then you have this kind of king of the world type of energy, and then hiding in underneath the covers. And then the Queen of Wands, this very sassy, kind of sassy and energetic, thriving personality, and this like melancholy sourpuss face. And then here, this Eight of Wands of like progress, going towards your goal, and here having completed the task and it just being everything that was wrong. So it's just seems like there is a big focus on like contrasts and needing to really recognize the conflicting aspects of the self and get a better understanding of yourself and what is next. So I'm going to pull some cards to get advice from the universe. You have this card of adjudication, and here in the environment you have this Justice card. So there is this adjudication can be an actual legal decision or an expert weighing in their opinions on a situation. This could also be something like making some legal decision in terms of like a divorce or child support, something along those lines. So here it's a sense or worry that those that are judging you or supposed to instill a system of fairness, there is a concern about that, and either causing conflict or being a system that is within itself conflicted. So I'm going to pull one more card here to see how this fits in. So you have this judication, staying focused, and hold the course. So here it's a sense of whatever it is that your concern is in the environment, to really examine that, to take a closer look at that, and whatever it is that you're, trying to accomplish, to still try to accomplish those things, but kind of get a very clear view of what it is that you're trying to figure out. What is it that you're afraid of? What is it even in this Tower moment and this Five of Cups that really was the most shocking if they actually occurred? What was it that was the most jarring or caused the most grief and upset? But really, in the process, staying true to your path, staying true to your beliefs, and recognizing that if you have a goal, a destination with this Chariot, to actually recommit to that, and don't focus on what is the bad, what is the negative, but focus on the potential positive of all these different conflicts. So I'm hoping this reading provides a helpful perspective of your month. To dig deeper into it, check out readings for your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. And we'll see you next time. Take care.